guys, my name is Darby. I'm a wedding photographer based in Toronto, Ontario, and today I'm showing you how to make a Instagram carousel. So we're going to need Photoshop for this tutorial, and we're going to create a new document, and the document size is actually going to be 2048 wide by 2048 height as well, and that's in pixels. Because it's a strip for the carousel that's going to be sectioned into 10 different images, we're going to add a 0 onto that width, and I'm just going to rename the file as instacarousel-2 and hit create. Now you're going to see the strip's going to come up here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go up to view, and we're going to go down to new guide layout. It's all the way at the bottom there. And we're going to make sure that the number is 10 and the gutter is 0, and make sure columns is checked as well. Just hit OK, and there you're going to see these blue lines come up. And what that does is that indicates each individual square that's going to be a post for Instagram. We're going to go back to view, we're going to go to snap to, and we're going to make sure that guides is checked. That's going to ensure that when you are moving images around on the file, if you want an image to be directly in line with that square crop, the image is gonna kind of magnetize to that line to make sure that there's not like a blank white line in between there. So I'm just gonna open all my images. I already selected them, so I made a file of the wedding photos from a wedding back in the fall that I'm gonna use. I think I picked around 15 photos. So I'm just going to open all those, and they're going to open up individually. The reason I like doing this is because then I can just drag and drop them into the carousel, kind of play around with them one at a time to see where I want them all to be lined up. So I'm going to go back to Instagram carousel, and we're just going to make sure we're on the little cursor, dragging and dropping. When you're resizing your images, you're going to notice when you click to resize it, at the top it's going to show the width and the height of the photo. There's going to be this little chain. You want to make sure that that's locked. That's going to ensure that the photo, when you're resizing it, it doesn't change the crop. So if it's a 4x6, it's going to stay 4x6. It's not going to crop to like a 2x10 when you move in, and all of a sudden their bodies are squished and warped. We're just adding all those photos, moving them around, seeing what we like. For this image here, I kind of decided that I wanted to flip it. I didn't want them to be overlaying into the second photo. I wanted the brick to actually overlay into the second photo. So in order to do that, you just right click, go down to flip horizontal, and the image rotates on itself. Throughout this process, you're going to be doing a lot of little minor tweaks of kind of adjusting the image size of where you want things to line up. So now I'm sliding over another image. I want this one to this one overlays 3 photos actually, so it's a longer spread. But since there's those blank spaces, I'm overlaying other images on top of them. You're gonna see as I'm sliding this photo over, it's kind of hidden behind other photos. That's because this layer is behind these other layers. If you want to bring this layer forward, you can either right click and go bring layer to front, or on the side where it has all the layers, you can drag that layer above the layer. So say this one that I'm moving is layer 4, and the image that I have below it is layer 10. You're going to want to make sure layer 4 is above layer 10, that way you can see that photo. So these pink lines are just ensuring that I have everything kind of centered on a straight line, resizing them to match. We're just going to work our way through. So make sure you select the layer that you're working on. So right here I'm selecting layer 12. I'm going to change the opacity down to about 60. That way I can see the photos behind it. So I'm using the polygon lasso tool, and I'm just cutting out around her, and I actually made a minor mistake here, and I should have kept the bottom of her dress as well overhanging. I ended up just cutting it off. We all make mistakes. So I'm just changing that here. Perfect. So you're just going to hit delete. You're going to click again. And now I'm going to go to my eraser tool. I'm going to change the opacity almost to 100%, and I'm just going to start erasing around her hair. Hair is really difficult. You want to make sure that the feathering is high and that you don't have the opacity at full. Slowly kind of bump the opacity up, and that way it looks a little bit more natural around hair, especially when there is light coming through. Hair is probably going to take the most time. I decided I was just going to get rid of that hair there, and make sure too when you're going against the line that you don't accidentally erase some of the other image. So now I decided I was going to let her hair and the sleeve of her dress overhang a little bit, so I just went in again with the polygon lasso tool, snapped that to the guide, made sure I was on the right layer, and deleted some of that image there. Going back in with the eraser tool, just erasing around her hair. I found this part especially difficult because it's just very fine strands. So, I mean, it's not my favorite part, but like favorite part of the carousel in itself, but it kind of adds a little bit of dimension to the one image. Because this is a tutorial, I'm kind of rushing through it. It's not going to be perfect, but you can take as long as you want, really, to perfect each of these images. Another little tip while you're using the eraser brush to make the brush bigger and smaller, you can just hit the brackets on your keyboard. Smaller bracket will make it smaller, bigger will make it bigger. For this, I just decided to overlay Alicia's photo on top of Mike's. I was going to do another erase overlay, but I just decided I wanted kind of like clean cut harsh lines. So we're just resizing that. And then the last image here is just a bridal party shot. I decided I wanted to leave it as full and not add too many details to it. So here we have the full carousel. It's pretty much done. All we have to do is save and export it to our phone. So in order to save these files, you're going to go up to File, Save As, and I actually save the full strip as a PSD first. That ensures that if all of a sudden my computer crashes, I still have all this hard work. If I accidentally crop it in too tight and I save it improperly, I have this to go back on. So you're going to go to that crop tool. You're going to slide this all the way over until it snaps to that blue guide and it says 2048 pixels. From there, you're going to go back up to File, you're going to go Save As, and crop. And then you're just going to rename the files. So I just leave it as Insta Carousel -2 and then -1. And it'll be -2, -3, and so on for all 10 images. You're saving it as a JPEG, just hit save. And I save them as the maximum quality you can. Just hit OK. And now you're going to revert what you did. So you're just going to hit Command Z. You're going back. You're going to crop this image again into that second column. So you're sliding it over, making sure it snaps to those guides, and it says 2048. After that, you're just going to repeat the process for each column. Save them all, and then you're going to export them to your phone. So you're going to pull up your phone here. You're going to open your camera roll, and they actually save backwards. So you're going to start from the bottom, go 1, 2, 3, all the way through till 10 images are selected. And before you actually post it, you want to make sure that you selected them all in the right order. So you're just going to click that right hand image. You're going to swipe through them, make sure that everything's seamless, it's in the right order, it looks good. You can even have a friend look it over to make sure you didn't accidentally make any errors anywhere. But yeah, it looks good. I mean, I love doing these. It's something fun and unique for your feed. People seem to like it. It's a good way to encase a whole wedding day as well. Yeah. If you end up making one, I'd love to see it. Please tag me in it. My Instagram's Darby Mitchell Photography, or leave a comment below. See ya!